Hello, I'm GloryHoundd, and today we're kicking off Kickstarters with...
Dr. GloryHoundd.
And me. That's it. That's all we have today.
That's all we need. So super
that was
professional.
not awkward at all.
Okay.
So today on our Kickstarter, we got in Arcadia Quest Writers. Super exciting. I love the Arcadia Quest series. It's one of my favorite things to do, like on a Sunday and like.
Yeah, it's definitely like it's good all day thing because by the time you set it up, you kind of want to play it more than just once.
Well, you kind of have to with it as much as. Like there is there, you have to go ahead and set it up and then have like an all-day event with it. Otherwise, I mean, I don't know if I would set up Arcadia Quest and then be like, all right, one game and we're done.
You got to be like swanky and have like a nice game table, just leave it up on.
Oh, that's true.
Which we totally have.
Yeah, can't you see this beautiful swanky game table here? Oh my god.
It's not a regular table with a mat on it.
No, not at all. I mean,
it's okay. Our housekeeper will get that.
Today we're recording down at our house, so this is super exciting for us.
You can see our Duck of Doom in the back. Some Sheldon.
Don't talk about my Duck of Doom.
Ogre. No.
All right, let's see what's in the Arcadia.
Our wrapped Seafall. Shelf of
here.
Shame.
It looks like we got some sweet instructions with some scenarios and stuff like that.
Please don't show the people instructions.
Well, no, I wanted to see how many pages were in here. 44 pages. I love the fact that there's like, I mean, the figures in this are freaking adorable. And that's why I got this. Let's get to the figures. Let's get to the important part, guys, okay? Nobody wants to see all these cards and upgrades and stuff. Like, you can get those anywhere.
Oh my god, you just got water over everything.
Sorry. Put that over there. All right, we need to see the figures.
You can't drink at the kitchen table anymore.
It's terrible.
You literally have water on the score pads.
Dang it. How much water did I get out?
A lot. It's a lot. It's okay. It's her first time on camera.
It's fine. It's fine. It'll dry.
Let's see if I mess it up as bad as you. I'm just going to open up this.
Well, I did all the hard work for you. God. All right. So you got some. What?
Nothing. Go ahead.
You got some tiles here, which are super awesome. We'll switch it over here. Let's see. So we got some super awesome tiles. Looks like we got 3 of them there. You have your super lovely instruction booklet with all your scenarios in it. It's about 44 pages. What do we got? Our mounts. Let's take a look at our mounts. Like so much water up here. I'm gonna need like a towel up in here. All right. These are gonna be. Oh, these are the best. Oh, these are so nice. Look at this. Oh my goodness. Okay.
Look at that pupper. That is a pupper.
Like a... Well, of course, I don't even know if we can like say what all of them are supposed to be. Because clearly some of these
This is a chocobo. You know that's a chocobo.
Look like a luck dragon.
That's a chocobo.
Oh my goodness. These are stinking adorable.
That's a rhinoceros. Or rhinoceros, if you want. Got yourself an owl over there. Yeah, this is definitely a big dragon.
These things are huge. Okay, so
like a Chinese dragon.
Like here's a regular mini here.
And guess what? They can ride them. Boom! Mind's blown. Look at that.
I know. I don't think our camera's picking up all of it very well, though.
Nope, that's okay. Nobody actually wants to see this stuff.
So, are you happy with our purchase?
Yeah, we're just gonna paint these up this weekend.
Oh, are we?
No.
Oh, we're not.
We never paint anything. It's horrible. We have a disease.
Well, I mean, we'll get there one day.
Yeah, by the time we retire, we'll probably start painting then. And
yeah, definitely. By the time we retire, like, we're going to have so much stuff to do. We're going to have, first off, we're going to have, like,
40 years worth of minis to paint.
A gajillion games to play.
And 40 years worth of minis. It's fine. This is fine.
It's fine.
Maybe I'll organize my magic cards then.
So what sort of Kickstarters did we look at today?
Well, we looked at a miniatures kind of based Kickstarter. We got like a 3X, and then we've also got like a card-based Kickstarter. So a little bit of everything.
The big one first, the Power Rangers.
No, we don't.
We don't? I want to save that one for last?
Sure. You asked me, so I'm just giving you Don't ask me questions
All
if you don't want me
right.
to answer.
All right. Okay. So we'll talk about Endogenesis, and let's pull up.
Look at
Ooh, let's
that.
pull up the actual Kickstarter here. So fancy today. So Endogenesis is already funded, and you know what? I didn't even like look up all the other stuff for this. It's for 3 to 5 players. This is a one-off from
Comes
David
a
Go.
cat cameo.
Well, yeah, Wesley's gonna be in here. Or, you know,
There's
they're
nothing
just
we
gonna
can do
have to
about
get
it.
used to her for recording at home. Okay, so it's by David Go. It looks like this is a one-off for him. I don't know any other ones that he's created. He doesn't have anything else.
Please
on
have decency.
Kickstarter.
You're on camera.
However, however,
Sorry, we'll bedazzle her or something.
bedazzle her.
We'll get her one of those covers for her butt.
That's right. This one here, I mean, what did you think of it?
Endogenesis. It's got a good story behind it. I mean, essentially, you're
It's very
these
colorful.
4. You're these beings, right? Kind of like these godlike beings, and you're bored. You're just sitting around. So you end up tearing a hole, and you go into like another dimension or another universe, if you will, and just to kind of poke around, see what you can see. And then you end up finding things, right? You end up kind of coming into your own power. And then when you come back to your homeland, you find out that, that hole you left, of course, let other things in. And so creatures are attacking your homeworld, right? Or your home planet where you and all your other fellow godlings used to be. And
This is like a common problem for
yeah, well, that's why you close the door when you go through something.
like your mom always said. I mean, you make sure if you go out, you close the door.
Yeah,
So
were
you don't
you
let
raised in a
anything
barn
out.
dimension?
I know,
Like,
right?
close the door when you leave. So a bunch of monsters come in, and what you do while defending your home world, if you will, or your home area, your universe, whatever it is, you end up, when you kill them, you kind of get powers, right? You start to gain more power, and that starts to build a level of unbalance between you and your siblings. And as that starts to grow, everyone starts to get more power hungry. So clearly these are based off humans. You get more power hungry, and you decide, like, well, if I kill these monsters and I get power, like, what would happen if I killed, like, the other godlings? And so you guys kind of get into, like, this big, huge, epic battle over it.
Well, I feel like this is very much like the start of like the gods and their war and stuff like that, and you
Yeah.
could probably tie it into like
Oh,
where they
all
were
kinds of different
thinking-
mythologies.
Yeah, where they were thinking of a certain sort of mythology for this.
Well, you've got
and
like
stuff.
nature-based. You've got like
Yeah.
kind of like void-based, which is kind of like undead, right? Or the dead. And you've got earth-based, and you've got chaos, and kind of like a lightning thing. So yeah, it seems like it follows some mythos, definitely. What's interesting about it, though, is that your character's not preset. So when you get your character, you pick the different skills like they start with, and you don't
Oh,
have
right,
to pick
yeah,
them
you
from like
build
your
your
faction. You get to build your skills from any of the factions.
Yeah, which is really cool. So, I mean, as far as replayability goes and you choosing kind of how you want your, I guess, like deck made and everything like that, I mean, it's completely scaled from your character and then building out and then building what you choose and stuff. And that part was really interesting on it.
Yeah, no, I think that's interesting because then you're never going to play the same way unless you literally pick the same cards and everyone at the table picks the exact same cards too.
Right.
So that will give you a little bit of variety in gameplay. It seems like it's actually it's going to be a decent card game. I think the only thing that kind of gave you pause at first was that it was like a first time project, right? Like his first project.
I'm always nervous about first time projects for people because one, they might not have made all of the connections needed to fully carry their project through, or they don't realize that there's going to be some setbacks if there's like
Right.
the Chinese New Year, or if
You gotta pay
there's
off
a
the
miscommunication
The
between
mob bosses at the docks.
right, or if there's like a miscommunication between the manufacturer and like getting the production back or something like that. Like sometimes you have to stay on top of those people, and if you've never done a Kickstarter project before, you don't know what those kind of landfalls are going to be.
Like we literally do not know what they could be.
Right. So it's like I'm always wary about first time projects. But this one seems like it's pretty well put together. So
And it's on Tabletopia too,
it is. So you can go ahead and try this out on Tabletopia.
which is always nice. And that's an extra cost that you have to incur to get up on there. So it makes me feel like they're more serious about it.
And here we go. 3 to 5 players, 60 to 120 minutes, and for ages 13 plus.
Looks beautiful.
They also had the PDF in here for the rules and stuff like that. And they say, oh, okay, the PDF with the rules are being finalized and stuff. So it seems like, even though it's first time creator, that they have a lot of this already put together, so because they have the PDF rules ready. Looks like they have all of the art ready. They have production copies that I believe people have played. It's on Tabletopia. So for a first time creator, this is actually like a really good job. I'm really impressed by this, you know? But it looks fantastic. As for the pricing though, let's see here. Let's take a look at the pricing. So for your base copy, you're looking at about $47, I believe it was, with shipping to the USA.
Correct.
Okay. These are in, the pledge is in like a different currency.
Right.
So it's a little bit less than what it
US
says up
currency.
there. Right. Right. But that's for Endogenesis. It's for the stretch goals, for everything in there. And that's about, let's say $50. It's about $50. I thought they had another pledged here, didn't they? Oh no, that was just for retailers though. So that's not bad.
Yeah, there's not a lot. I mean, you can go try the game out. You can, on Tabletopia, you can read the rules. You can watch the video. It's going to give you an idea of how kind of everything is. Well, and they've updated a lot of stuff on it. But, you could really try this game out before you play it, which is not usually the case with Kickstarter games.
That's true. And with this one, when I was scrolling down, because it's like, this is a $50 game. And a lot of times whenever you get involved in $50 games, you're like, this is a deck of cards. This sucks. This is not just a deck of cards. As you can see, it does have a neoprene game mat and stuff with it.
Which was one of the stretch goals.
Yeah, which was really cool. Because, you were going to get a board portion, but instead they switched to the neoprene mat. And I like this game box insert here. Mm-hmm.
You got cloth bags. A lot of these are stretch goals that were unlocked to make the game just nicer overall.
Right. But this is, I love the colors in this game. I know it's like probably the most stupid commentary ever, but this game just looks sweet. Like, it looks beautiful.
Yeah, I would recommend people try this game out. I think it will be a fun game.
You think so?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so.
So, are we going to yays and nays?
So I'm a nay, but the only reason why...
What?
I know. So the only reason why...
Nay?
Hold on.
Okay.
The only reason why is because of budgetary constraints. Like, we just kicked Terrors of London.
Okay.
And...
I was going to talk about that, too, because we had just kickstarted...
Something that's... I feel
a
like...
deck builder.
Right. That's going to be kind of in this... I feel like it might be in a similar area. And we just started like messing around with Ascension, and we've just gotten into a bunch of deck builders recently. So I just don't feel like I need to fill this slot in our shelves. So like I just don't feel like I need another one right this minute.
Between this and London Terror, though, I'm thinking of like what you're getting for your dollar and stuff like this. This seems nicer.
Yeah, no, I would say this one probably looks nicer, but. The Terror of London, the Terrors of London, like that one seems like it's got a lot of good deep gameplay. I don't know how this would compare without actually playing it.
Not until you play it on Tabletopia.
Mm-hmm. But it does look pretty, and it is one that I wanted to talk about last week.
Yeah, we've been looking at this one for a while, so this was not like just one that we were like, oh, we're gonna go ahead and throw that one in there. No, we've been following this Kickstarter since it started, because we liked the look of it. I just wasn't sure of where all it was going, but with all the upgrades and where it's at and it's funded and everything, this is a great Kickstarter to probably back. I would just be worried overall about whether they're going to ship on time or not, but that's always a thing with Kickstarters, you always have the chance of it not shipping in time.
See, for me, that's not as big of an issue.
That's October 2019, so that's over a year. So actually, this sounds like they're pretty well prepared and defined.
Yeah, I'm thinking that they're probably going to deliver early,
researched.
Almost. And the reason why I say that is with Kickstarter, it's kind of like, it's almost like making an investment, right? You make the investment up front and you'll get it eventually. Like, I never expect it to be delivered on time because most of them just aren't.
Well, I'm going to say good job for David Go, because he's like, he clearly did his research to get all of this down and everything looks great.
Yeah.
On this Kickstarter. I'm going to say although I don't like deck builders, that's the only thing that's holding me back is like I'm not a huge fan of deck builders, but I would definitely back this game if that was like the main thing that I liked playing, because it looks beautiful. There's so much to this Kickstarter that you're getting.
Right.
The price is right. I mean,
yeah, it's not a bad
it
price.
looks fantastic. It looks fantastic. I would get it.
Yeah, if we wouldn't have just
If you went
kickstarted the one
ahead and
last
were
week.
like, if you were like, yeah, let's go ahead and get this, I'd probably be like, oh, well, okay, I guess.
Yeah, it's more of just a timing issue. I think that this one, I could have gone either way. I could have backed this one or Terrors. I just happened to just have backed Terrors like
and
last
that's
week.
a really important thing to think about whenever people are running Kickstarters is that, what is up?
Right, and
You know?
also we talked about big game conventions. There was a couple that we were talking about last week that unfortunately they were funding during the time that it was like Gen Con. So
Yeah.
not only is there a time where people are probably not looking at Kickstarter, you're also spending all your money on the new hot releases, going to
at
Gen Con.
I mean,
It's a bad time. Nobody has that extra cash laying around, right?
Well,
You almost want to do like an after Christmas Kickstarter or
unless
something.
you're showing your game off at Gen Con.
Right.
And then you're like, hey, by the way,
It's on
you can-
Kickstarter.
Yeah, you can Kickstart right now. Unless
Yeah, that's
you're
always
doing
a good-
that, then probably no.
Yeah, I agree. That's always a good way of doing it.
All right, so let's move on.
I'd recommend it for others, just not me today.
Well, yeah, no, definitely. Like I said, if you had said, all right, I kind of like this game, I'd be like, all right, I guess, because it looks pretty fancy.
Okay.
All right, Power Rangers.
We're going to back this one.
Power Ranger. Oh, sorry.
That's not the song
I
at
know,
all.
I know.
She
Okay,
is
first off, I know nothing about
yeah.
Power Rangers, guys. I missed that thing. I think I watched a little bit of it when I was younger. So whenever I saw this going like gangbusters today, I was like, really?
I'm gonna give
We're
it.
gonna take back all the 80s and 90s stuff and make
My
new
brother's gonna be mad at me. My little brother's like 7 years younger than me, 6 years younger than me. He was super into Power Rangers, and so I watched it with him. But I was in like high school during the time, so it wasn't really my thing to be watching. So I'm gonna try to do justice. I'm sure I'm gonna mess up names and stuff, but
We
yeah,
should have just had him on for this. We should have.
that
phoned him
would
in.
have
We
been
phoned him in.
smart. We should
Yeah.
stop having all these epiphanies on the air. We should do that. We should maybe pre-plan this.
Okay, so when I originally looked at this project, I was like, why? I'm so tired of seeing people mess up my Ninja Turtles and like all my other childhood loves. And I mean, I don't like Power Rangers, but I'm kind of tired of seeing those things. But
People just like booting up just like trying to like buy in on nostalgia. Is that what
yeah,
you're saying?
pretty much. But
Okay. Like Trogdor.
yeah, like Trogdor.
Arrows.
So, what is it? Renegade Game Studio is doing this, guys.
They do really good job with games.
And they've been like super hot lately. Renegade has just been like killing it. So
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, well, I'll take a look at this. And as I was going through and I was watching the video, like I wish this game was just themed differently, because as I'm looking through, I'm like, oh wow, okay. All the different rangers here, they all have their own different powers and their own little decks and stuff. And
They all
it's
have their own little
so-
combat decks.
Yeah, it's so skilled and individualized and stuff like that. It's a campaign game is what it is.
So this reminds me the most of something like Arcadia Quest, but
Right.
it's co-op, right? So you're working together to defeat these monsters, and as you're running around Angel Grove, trying to beat the putties, you add them to basically like a death board or like a graveyard or
Did
whatever.
you say putties or is it puggies?
Putties.
Are we
The
sure?
T.
Hold on.
Yeah, they're made out of like
Hold on,
clay.
Hold on.
You can
What
look
is
all
it?
you
What
want.
What is that thing?
It's putty.
What does that say right there?
It's putty.
Okay.
Calm down. all right?
Continue.
Thank you for stopping everything for that.
Are you sure? Oh, isn't that's Pudgy the pig? Okay, sorry.
Oh my god. So I told you I watched at least the first season of this with my brother before
Okay.
like I was probably too old and was moving out. So as you're running around Angel Grove defeating the putties and everything, you add them to a sideboard, and once you've killed X amount of bad guys, then you unlock the different Zords. So the Zords are like, if you're familiar with Voltron or any kind of show like that,
Any other cool show aside from Power Rangers?
calm down. She's
I'm
not a
so
fan.
sorry. I'm so sorry.
It's not even that she's not a fan. She has she just doesn't have any reference for it, but she still somewhat like low key hates it for some
I
reason.
don't know. I just
Yeah, calm down. So
like if you started
they all
with Voltron, like that's where your heart is. That's where your heart is. Sorry.
So the different Zords are all matched up. They're all based off of dinosaurs, and they're all matched up to their individual rangers. So like you could unlock, say, like Zach, who was the Black Ranger. You could unlock his was like a mammoth, and you know, like the Pink Ranger, she had, you know, a pterodactyl. So they had different Zords like that, and then they could all fight individually. And then eventually, if the monster got like too big or too bad, like if Rita Repulsa, she would always yell like, "Make my monster grow!" I swear that's what she would say.
Okay.
Whenever the monster would get really big, because of Rita Repulsa, then you would end up joining all the Zords together into Megazord, and then Megazord busts out a sword and starts chopping heads off and stuff.
Kind of like Voltron, but
Yes, calm down. We know. There's lots of stuff that are like lots of other stuff. What I like about this game is that for movement, so you get like two moves. You get like two actions. And when you move, you can move anywhere in Angel Grove because you can teleport, because that's part of the show. They teleport all over the place. And then if you decide to start combat, you start combat with all of your allies that are in the same area as you. So if you're fighting a bunch of putties, you're all fighting them together. And then the putties aren't static. They don't have like this is just the only thing they do. They have a deck also. So you flip them out, and like this putty might be doing this thing, this putty might be doing this other thing. And then you and your partner get to decide like who's going first, who's going to like use what powers, because you have power that you share together to decide like how you're going to do it. And then you also get to like level up by defeating monsters too. So you get stronger as you go along. I think they themed it very well. If you like Power Rangers, I think this is pretty much a have to get.
Oh yeah, no. If you like Power Rangers, you're probably this is why this thing is going gangbusters right now, is because of all the people out there that love Power Rangers and like, I need this. This is my thing. Oh my god. Like
yeah.
that,
No, I mean it is. So the interesting thing about it is
they did a really good job with it. The minis look fantastic.
Right. And I like that the turns aren't just like you go, then I go. It's like you can mix it all up. Like I can start the fight, then you can start the first attack, and then like we can mix it up and I can do 3 things, then you can do a thing. Like you're not stuck statically where I have to do all my actions and you do all your actions. It's not turn-based that way.
Sounds interesting.
Okay. So what's really interesting about this, though, is the pricing. So for the base game...
Why do you think that... First, wait, why do you think the pricing is interesting on this? Because
normally I would hate this, the pricing.
Okay.
Right? This is normally exactly what I hate. So it's $75 base game, no Kickstarter exclusives. It's just the base game. You get nothing. It's going to be as close to the retail game as you can possibly get. I don't think you get anything at all for the base set besides the base game. Does it come with a lot of stuff? Yes. You're going to get minis for your putties. You're going to get minis for your different monsters. But it doesn't come with any Kickstarter exclusives, which I'm always like, I'm not a fan of that aspect of it. If I'm going to buy it, I want to have some kind of exclusive or something, at least something limited, something, right? It's got to come with some bonus. Why am I Kickstarting this?
Well, yeah, that's the whole thing.
And that's the cheap tier.
Like I mean, we always stress that if you're going to support a Kickstarter, you're supporting it because of all the other cool stuff that you're doing. Or if it's an indie board game.
Right, passion. It's a passion project.
Yeah, but
there's
can't
usually
be
something
supported without having that funding first. But whenever you have a big studio like this and then saying, all right, well, here's a Kickstarter, and then you get no cool Kickstarter stuff, you're like,
Yeah, I don't like it when there's definitely
Nothing.
Kickstarter stuff, and then then you get excluded from it, which seems to be like a newer trend. I don't recall this really happening like 2 years ago.
I think it's just so they can have like a lower pledge price to be like, hey, it's only $75, and then you get excited about it, and you're like, oh wait, I don't get everything for $75, and then you're already sold on it, Right,
and then like the next level over 75 is double the price, just straight up $150.
$150 bone.
Now, what you're getting with that is you'll get all the stretch goals. You'll get a exclusive sculpt for Rita Repulsa. You already get one in the base set, but you get a different one. It's like Combat Rita.
And this does the thing that we hate. That
2 expansions.
Yeah, 2 expansions right up front.
You get 2 expansions that you can
by the way, your
Kickstarter
game
only.
Complete.
Yeah, your game is not complete. And the problem too is they're good expansions.
Right.
Like
you're not gonna
the
not
green
want
one
expansions.
is going to give you like the evil Green Ranger, which is the huge plot for the whole beginning of the first season or 2. Is the Green Ranger being evil, and then eventually he becomes good. Spoiler. And then the white box is going to come with the White Ranger, which eventually, another spoiler, Tommy comes back as the White Ranger much later on in the show. So I'm spoiling all kinds of this stuff. I know. And I know a surprising amount, but that's because my little brother talks about it a lot.
So
you have to go for 150 if you're even a slight fan.
You're backing it at 150. You're
I think
not
you kind of
backing it at
have
75. So, like, why even have the $75?
But
pledge?
it gets worse.
You just go, hey, by the way, we're not going to offer this other stuff. It's going to be 75 at stores. That's what you say. And then you go, this button, then this game is $150.
But then it gets worse. If you want to pay even more, it's $240 for the all-in. You just go all in, which, to be fair, we've done that for like Arcadia Quest, Massive Darkness. We've done that for big games. But what's it going to give you for that extra? Scroll on down. What else you get? So here's the big thing. You're going to get another expansion. You're going to get more putties, more mega putties, or whatever they're calling them. You're going to get colored dice, which is another. I think Cyclopsis is like another monster. I'm not 100% sure. That I know eventually the Green Ranger had a dragon Zord that was fought on his own.
We need to have brought in the Power Ranger expert.
I don't 100% know about Cyclopsis. The problem is the show went for like 9 or 10 seasons. Like it's went forever. So you get like another expansion.
Another expansion?
Yeah, it's another expansion. And then you get this giant Megazord. So that's cool that you get a giant Megazord.
Okay, but that one isn't a Kickstarter exclusive, though.
Right, that one is not.
Okay, so that one's going to go to retail probably.
Right, but I don't think you can get. I don't know if you'll get the giant Megazord.
You
like,
probably
I don't know.
Won't. That giant Megazord,
like look at that size-wise.
Figure.
So the red guy is going to be the Red Ranger, and then you got Rita Repulsa and Goldar. They're all pretty much the same level. They're all at that 60 mil, and then bam, 120 mil. So double the size for the Megazord.
Is huge, like your normal RPG.
Right, it literally says right there your average is 35.
Yeah, and like 60 mil, that's like, I don't know, maybe like that. It's pretty big.
Yeah.
Like.
It gets pretty intense.
And then 120?
I don't know if you can, so for somebody who's like a super fan like my brother, he's going to have to do it the Megazord level. Okay. Like he's got to go Megazord.
So them making the minis bigger means that they're going to look better because then you have more to work with detail and stuff like that. But
painting.
That's like huge though.
It is really big, but so for example, my brother has like every Megazord that they've ever made, and he's got them displayed on multiple shelves, like in his living room. So for him, having a giant Megazord that he can paint, it's not going to be a problem.
We have those giant Arcadia Quest dragons though, and they're just huge.
Yeah,
and that's all I can think of.
You almost wanted to like display them; they're so big.
Yeah,
like they got to be like your centerpiece of your table. Put like some salt and pepper shakers in them or something.
For people that are really into this. I don't know. The game looks like it's going to be good, honestly, guys. Like, I don't like the theme at all, and I think if this was rethemed, I'd be like 100% in on this.
Right, because it's similar to Arcadia Quest, which we liked because it was... Arcadia Quest was kind of like a mock of all the different sci-fi and fantasy movies we watched as kids, right? Like, so it has like Labyrinth characters in there and Willow characters, stuff that was from the 80s and 90s movies that we remember.
And this is
the same thing, but for like
Renegades game.
Yeah.
And I think Hasbro is supporting this too.
Well, Hasbro owns the license.
Oh, okay. Hasbro
I'm mostly sure Hasbro owns the licensing.
That's probably right.
Yeah. Well, what you get in the 240 version is you get like alternate versions of the different Power Rangers. You get like the Mega Force, I want to say. See, they've had like Mega Force, Cyber Force, Super Ultra Mega. Like they've had all kinds of different. There was like Power Rangers Turbo. So I know there's been a whole bunch of different ones.
So much stuff in this box.
Yeah, no, it's ridiculous. That was just the base box. Now you're looking at the second box. It comes with, like I said, the Evil Green Ranger, the White Ranger, Lord Zed, and then you get the giant Megazord, more putties, and then some of the unlocked stretch goals, and you just get more and more and more stuff. And it's still going. I mean, this is still only about halfway through their campaign, and
they have like 18.
Here's the Shattered Grid expansion. So here's the different ones. It's Hyperforce Red Ranger, Yellow Ranger, Blue Ranger.
That's the one that'll probably be available afterwards or something.
I'm guessing so.
Because it's not marked special for Kickstarter.
Yeah, I don't know. $240 is a lot for one game. What I didn't like about this Kickstarter is it's kind of hard to navigate with how big it is and the 3 different tiers. Someone's going to buy the wrong thing and get confused. but they don't have gameplay on here.
No, they
you have to
don't.
go into
You do.
the
You have
comments.
to go through and look.
I think it was
through
I think it
stuff.
was in the comments, and then they talked about where they had a video of them playing it at a Power Ranger convention.
Yeah, I was just gonna say they're at a
And that's where
convention
you
right
can
now.
actually click on the actual play videos and actually see what it looks like. So it took a little bit to kind of find
I
it.
was a little bit sad about that part because usually with such a big, if I'm going to be spending $150, I want to see gameplay. I want to see your product.
She
and what
wants
it
to
looks
see it.
like I want to see it all. Okay, I want to see it all before I buy.
Which I think is fair. Yeah, having to hunt for gameplay doesn't seem right. I don't
No, I
know why
hate
they wouldn't
that.
have that on here, and they don't have a bunch of
I
reviews
love
from
Renegade
reviewers
games
either.
too, so
But yeah, Renegade's been doing very well. I haven't played one of their games that I have just hated.
I agree.
Like most of them I've actually quite enjoyed.
I agree.
So this is a bigger game for them though. I can't think of another one of their games that's this big. More of their games have been more like,
No,
you know,
they're really doing a bunch
hour
of
or
really
less.
interesting things though because they took on Overlight. And
yeah.
that's an RPG. And I think they took on, what was it, Kids and Bikes too, right?
I
or
think
something.
so.
There was another RPG that they did, and then they did nail polish from, what is it, that Phoenix, I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah, that matched up with the Overlight colors.
Yeah, that matched up with the Overlight colors, and now they're like making this really gigantic game here with, you know, the Hasbro entity on it and stuff. Interesting stuff for Renegade Games. Okay, so like yay or nay on this though?
It doesn't fill a need for me. I don't have a need for this game. I have Arcadia Quest. I've got Massive Darkness. I don't identify with this IP, this intellectual property, as much. If I was a super fan of this, I would probably jump all over this.
Oh, absolutely. I think
Because it looks like it actually will be a decent game. Like you, I'm not on the hype. I don't have any hype
if
for
this
this.
was themed in almost anything else, really.
Well, not anything else, but something like a theme that you liked more. Like if they would have taken this with Ninja Turtles and they would have made, you know, a bunch of different Ninja Turtle expansion stuff, I would have been like, yeah, we're going all in on this. Like cash out the 401k.
definitely. Well,
But everyone's got their love, and I will say that it's not just theme. This game does look like it will actually be good. I liked
oh, absolutely.
the way you teleport around the Angel Grove, and I liked all of that. So I think they did a very good job making this game feel thematic while you're playing it.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, all the gameplay videos that I've looked at, everybody looks like they're having a good time. It looks very thematic.
They are
with
paid to
everything
look
out.
that way.
With everything, are they?
No.
With everything out on the boards and stuff. It looks awesome. And I know that they were taping some gameplay there too while they were doing that. So
Yeah,
you
they
should
did
be
one of the
able to look at
conventions.
gameplay online and then make a final decision on that. For me, I'm going to say no. But I do know people I'm going to tell about this who are going to buy it. So,
Right. So
like,
we'll have the luxury of
there's-
probably playing it with somebody.
we're probably going to play it with somebody because there are people that I know that are going to be on this like super fast.
Right.
All right. Okay, so this one I'm like the most excited about here.
Well, geez, spoilers.
Spoilers, so excited.
Hellenica.
Hellencia.
I kept trying to call it-
Mr. B Games.
Kept trying to call it Helvecia, but I think that's like a
This
font
is
type.
for 1 to 7 players.
She doesn't care about my font
1 to
jokes.
7 players. Oh, well, I guess that's true. This is a big box, like 2-hour freaking strategic.
It said
game.
it can be played in 2 hours, which leads me to believe that it usually
Quotation
takes
marks.
longer than that. It's a big 3x game.
Yeah, like this is super exciting. Okay, so first off, I was really excited that not only are you building your city with actual buildings that you're putting on the board, but that like you're equipping them with certain things with these cubes here, and I
Right.
think that's freaking fantastic. I don't know why I was so excited to buy that. And after placing those cubes in those things and building them for certain reasons and stuff, then you can use those buildings to like do different things in your city and stuff. You, like make more, religious god powers for yourself, or
Right, you get
help
the favor of
support
the
troops
gods.
and stuff like that with these. So I thought that was incredibly interesting. That like you're not just putting things out on the board to put things out on the board and be like, "Ha, I built that," but you're also building off of those things. And I thought that was freaking amazing with this. And then also having the map and stuff like this. This is like the old Roman thing. So you have like Troy
Athens.
and Athens and everything over there, and like it's I mean, you have each place has its own little faction. They're building their own stuff, and then they're trying to attack each other and stuff. I mean,
well,
it's essentially a war game. I mean,
right? It's gonna be definitely
fantastic.
a big war game with exploring and yeah,
well,
all of that.
Oh yeah, because you kind of have tiles for a fog of war sort of thing with it, right?
I believe so. And I know one thing I thought that was pretty interesting is that they made mention in the video gameplay of, they went off to go fight like in Athens, right? Mm-hmm. And, or maybe it wasn't in Athens. No, I think it was in Athens. So when they're all fighting in Athens, it gets real bloody and they both start losing a bunch of troops. And then Poseidon sends a tidal wave over their city. So they lost a lot of their buildings.
Right.
And then they were like, and it also discusses more along the lines of while they were busy fighting each other and Poseidon like just wrecks their villages, that Troy has been building up across the sea, like with nobody stopping them. They've been building wonders. They've been upgrading their civilization, and
right, because Troy is kind of sectioned off by the sea. And
right.
stuff
Well, here
like
it is.
that.
Look, it's getting washed away right now.
Yeah.
Boom. Get wrecked, son. Should have built a dam.
Well, yeah, and that's kind of the interesting thing is, not only are you looking. I mean, you can have like essentially like godlike natural disasters happen during this game,
right? And
so
the gods aren't always going to do what you want either, because you're just trying to get it's old world mythology.
You can have favor for the gods,
right?
and,
But
like,
it still
they
might
can
not
help
work
you
out.
But then, like, somebody just might get pissed off because of that. So.
Right? Yeah, because Ares helped out, and then
That's
Poseidon
right. And
got
then
mad.
Poseidon was like, you know what, Ares is an asshole.
You're spending all your time doing that.
I think I can say that word. That's kind of PG-ish, right?
100% no.
No.
Nope. That's 100% a cuss word.
Dang it. Okay. Well.
Okay. Not that we're offended, but trying to keep it clean for all of our Kickstarter fans.
So this game is already funded. It's going through. It's by Mr. B Games. It's going to be. Well, let's look at the pricing on this. Okay.
The big thing about this one is it's a smaller company, and they said various times in the pledge manager that if you don't get this from them, like through this Kickstarter or directly from Mr. B Games with whatever limited supply they have,
right, it's
gone.
Like a one-off printing sort of thing. We talked about that a little bit with that one that we just recently covered. That's right. I can't remember who made that one. All of a sudden,
it was something very similar where they're like, "Hey, we're printing this,"
smaller
and
game company.
you kind of have to kind of jump on it, or you might just miss it. Which, I know is a sales technique, but for some of these smaller companies, like they're being serious. They're only going to print so many. They're not going to print an extra 1,000 and just warehouse them.
And there's been games that I've come across that are like that, where I'm like, oh man, I really think this game is awesome, and I watch it being played. Well, it's like this epic game, like. What is that?
Gloomhaven was one.
Yeah.
For we spent a year waiting for them to reprint. And everybody else was playing it. We're like, oh, I want to play, and we couldn't find it anywhere. So I mean, that's a great example.
Sad about missing that one. This one here. So the first pledge tier here is $90, which you're getting a lot of stuff in the box.
Right, because you're getting buildings and wonders, and you do get minis in the form of buildings more.
This one, however, it does do the thing that we hate, where you automatically get expansions in the box.
Yeah.
Look at how huge this is. Like, this is so
7
crazy.
players. It goes up to 7 players, which I like that.
I do too, because
that's a big game. 7 players.
One of my favorite games to play, if you have the time to play it, is that Game of Thrones 2nd edition. Mm-hmm.
And then where you start off,
forever, but it's so much fun.
And where you start off, and the alliances you make because of it make a
and
huge
then you try
deal.
to get your army through the certain points and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
and people can kind of cage you off, and it is so fun and thematic, and I love that game so much. And it takes forever to play, but I mean, having everybody play everything in that game,
so there's no
is
AI.
the best.
It's great.
It's the best.
This one does have AI if you are playing with a smaller group,
right?
So it does. So that way, it still feels like it's a big battle. So you're not. It's not just like
this is $90
empty
worth
spaces.
of stuff in here for 7 players. Honestly,
Yeah.
I am not sad about paying $90 for this, because you are getting a ton of stuff in this box. Okay,
right? I agree. It's worth it. I mean, look at the different
These
miniatures in there.
buildings though are so freaking just.
And I like when, like you said,
so
when you
cool
place your
looking.
cube down, you're actually putting it in the building itself, on top of it.
So then you're not just oh yay, I'm building a city, and
It's not just a token.
You feel like it's SimCity up in there, but no.
And then you get attacked by a cat.
Other stuff.
Oh
There's
my
you can upgrade that city, okay? It's all about the upgrades. I have to say, the only thing that I don't like in this game is that it still looks like you have dice rolling. So it looks like you can go ahead and you have to move your troops in. You have to supply your troops and make sure they're supplied. And then it's counted off of troops and rolling almost in like a risk sort of fashion.
I don't think it's going to be quite as swung by dice as Risk, but you are right. They do definitely have dice in there somewhat.
Yeah.
It seems like there's a little bit more mitigation because Risk is just straight dice versus
and
dice.
then you can go ahead and like use your favor for the gods. So like there's other ways you can manipulate those sort of things before the dice rolling happens, but like I still don't love the dice rolling part, but I think that there's a lot of mitigation there.
You prefer the secret agenda thing where you flip over a token that says like, oh, I got +5 or yeah.
I do. But I wouldn't, since there's so many ways to alter that, I wouldn't be like disappointed.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I don't think it'll make this game feel unfun.
And plus with 7 players, I mean,
it's going to be all politics
you don't know.
more than anything else.
You don't know what you're going to need and what's going to happen. Like, you just don't know. Let's see here. Stretch goals. Here it was. The punch, or the map tile. So it looks like as you're traveling through things that you can actually build your own map as you're going, which is kind of cool too. So that was a neat little portion of it. It just seems like they did a really good job. And like,
is that how many minis? 227 minis?
Yeah, they upgraded their minis. Like I'm telling you, $90.
Well, this is the Mythic expansion, so make sure you're getting the one that does have the Mythic expansion.
Yeah, no, that's it. That's it. It's one tier.
No, this one has this one.
It's one tier. It's the $90, and then it's the $100 for the retailer hit pledge. Yeah,
which too bad. I'd rather just do that.
Okay, wait. So here we have the Zeus edition, which was the limited edition with the first 2 expansions, 6 to 7 players. Then did the other one not have the other ones? No, they both have the expansions and stuff like that. What's the difference between them?
Go to Zeus. It has solo. Does the other one have solo? Limited edition Mythic expansion. So the Mythic expansion is with the Zeus specifically.
Okay.
The other one does not have the Mythic expansion.
Okay. Was that what we were looking at?
Yep, we were looking at the Mythic expansion.
Okay, so and that was for how much?
145.
Okay, so that's a pretty big upgrade. You're getting a lot of extra minis though, because it goes from 40 to 70. That's almost doubling those minis on there for each one.
Right. It's another expansion. Like it looks like you got yourself like a Minotaur in there and stuff, which I'm a sucker for Minotaurs.
Well, the only thing I'm not super impressed by is, I mean, I hope these aren't the finals for these minis. I don't know. They look, I mean, from comparatively,
the buildings look good.
I was going to say comparatively from these minis to the buildings, like the buildings look amazing. They just look amazing, you know? That's the most exciting part of that.
Right.
But like, I probably wouldn't be painting the boat or
True.
like any of the people in this because
we've just ran out of time to paint stuff for all the different games we have. Realistically,
don't you talk about my painting? Don't you talk about my painting?
I already did. I talked about it.
I think this is really cool.
Yeah, I think even just if you did this one, I don't think you'd feel like you missed out, and if you just did the $90 one, because it's already a 2-hour-ish game, and if you've got 7 players, it's going to go longer than that, I would imagine. I don't think you're going to be like hurting for like, oh man, I really wish I would have gone for the Zeus tier. Now, if you know you already like these styles of games and you like them to be a longer game, aka Meeple Lady style, you can just go for the bigger one because it'll probably take more time.
I wish we would make a song about that.
Meeple Lady style?
Like Gundam style, except Meeple Lady style. No? No. And you can't do a dance thing?
No.
No.
Sorry.
You're just like, no. Oh, hell no.
I'm being serious. This is Kickstarter, not a joke.
Well, if you're being so serious, stop shaking the table. Look what I have to deal with right now, okay? Look at this. Look at that.
That's very normal for this household.
It's ridiculous. This is why we don't record at our house, guys, just by the way. I'm just saying.
So for this game, is this one that you think you would back?
I would love to back this. I would back this at the $90 tier and play an epic game, and it would be fantastic. And I'd invite Meeple Lady over and anybody else I could con into playing hours worth of games with me.
Right.
Yeah. And I'd offer beer.
I think I would
No,
definitely.
I'd
play-
offer mead.
I would play this one. Some of the longer, like 2-3 hour games, I look at, I'm just like, yeah, not for me because I like that 1.5 or less. But this one, I think I'd play. It actually looks very
I think
interesting.
whenever you get like the interaction between people into play, it makes the game go a lot faster. Like
Yeah.
you don't think about it as much and how long it's lasting like that.
Right, like I don't know if I'd want to play like a world builder for 3 hours, just like where
No.
I'm kind of like doing my own thing over on the side. No, I agree.
No, not at all. And Mr. B Games is a good game company here. Let's see what their date is. August of 2019. That's a pretty reasonable date.
Yeah, it's a year. It's a full year.
Yeah, to get everything squared away and everything that's not bad at all. I would back this. I'd back that.
So out of the 3, this is the one you're most excited about?
This is the one for me right here. Yeah, this is the one.
This is the one.
This is the one.
So you heard it here. This is the one.
The final countdown to it. I feel like you're just like not into my jokes today.
You didn't like my font joke earlier.
I can't do anything entertaining.
I'm
God.
distracted by that cat in the
Is it?
screen.
Yeah,
It's just
she's
so
like-
mesmerizing.
Oh, look at her. She's so cute. She's so cute.
I'm so sorry. She's like this. Back these games.
Yeah.
Do it. Back all 3.
Well,
Full tiers.
okay.
Go all in. Spend $700.
All in. Tax time is coming at some point, so I mean.
That's not this time of year.
No.
So
All right. Well, I believe that's it. I believe that's all we have.
where
to
can we
say.
find you at?
You can find me at GloryHoundd.com on Twitter and Instagram, and In Glory We Trust on Facebook. And if you're watching this, you're probably watching on my YouTube channel.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Dr. GloryHoundd.
That's right. And
And on Twitch.
we should be trying to do some streaming at some point not with Wesley, of course. Look at she's gonna give you guys some super awesome treatment here.
That's free cat looks. All right,
Right.
let's get out of here. This cat took over our stream.
Right. Maybe I'll be able to get down on this.